Rabbi Friedman, thank God it's Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Better late than never. We're so happy that you're with us.
Sorry about that.
The important
I'm in Georgia.
Oh.
Not Gruzia. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. With 25 or 26 college women. We're having this 7-day retreat in a very, very nice rental place. And we were just in the middle of a class and we forgot what's going on.
I am very jealous and very sorry that I'm no longer of college age. Would love to be there at your seminar. That's amazing. Thank you again for still finding the time to be with us, because unfortunately, chaos is getting more chaotic by the second. And the topic that I would like to address today that absolutely blows my mind. I don't understand what is going on. But in New York Post, there was a story about, on May 22nd, not about, exactly on May 22nd, where parents were absolutely appalled that their children were taught literacy in pornography. And this was for 16 and 17-year-olds. So I'm just wondering who's creating these curriculums in private, very expensive schools that cost $47,000 a year, $55,000 a year. Another story ran yesterday in the Jewish, I believe it was the Jewish Voice, one of the Jewish newspapers, where, again, parents were appalled because they were never asked or consulted on whether they agree with this or not. And I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry to be talking to you about these topics. It's not very comfortable for me to even say out loud, but nevertheless, it's being taught to first graders, Introduction to Masturbation, where kids actually saw the videos. I mean, what is going on, Rabbi Friedman? Why is the establishment or the world so fixated on children's sexuality these days?
It has been going on for at least 50 years. But until recently, it was all subtle. It was subliminal. But there are people in the country who are determined to corrupt the country and to destroy all values and all ideals that the country ever had. But now, as you say, it's not subtle anymore. It's blatant, unapologetic, and people will not tolerate it. So this is part of that process that we were talking about, that everything is coming out very clearly. The evil is not hiding anymore. And when it doesn't hide, then it's gonna destroy itself. And this is a very good example, because the sexualization of children has been going on for 50 years or more. You know, with the subtle messages and in the rock and roll songs, the images in children's electronic games. It's always been there, but they try to play it down. They try to mask it.
Rabbi
Now,
but what is the purpose? What are we trying to accomplish? Whoever is doing this, I don't understand who is doing it, who is in agreement to do this to the children, and why is it being done? What's the purpose?
I hate to think. Somebody is trying to weaken the country, take away its moral fiber, so that we're vulnerable. That's one of the ways of destroying a country or a nation. You take away their backbone.
I'm going to have to ask, why do we need to destroy this country again? I'm sorry, I have so
why
many
and who?
so many silly questions in my mind.
Who benefits from weakening the country? I don't know. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We can't let it happen. It's not going to happen. And the more blatant and the more open the evil is, the less chance it has of succeeding.
Rabbi Friedman,
It's going to continue for a while. Mm-hmm. All the evil is going to come out into the open. So it seems scary. It seems like we're going down and we're going bad. But when evil comes out in the open, it's not scary. It's reassuring that the evil cannot last long.
We spoke during our last program last week about bringing goodness into the schools, but there's no chance to do it because no one is asking parents what they want, how they want to raise their children, what kind of values they want their children to learn. I mean, this all came as a shock to these parents, and they're afraid to speak up these days because they don't want to be canceled or make their children's lives even more complicated than they already are. What are they to do? What can the society do? Because we see it, but what can we do about it? I mean, this is hitting home.
We're much stronger. Yeah, we're much stronger than we think. Public opinion in America is still really powerful. So if parents get together with their school, not take on the whole country, just get together with your school and say, in our school, we would like to start the day with a moment of silence so that children can think about their values, about why they're in school, about where they're going and where they should be going. That's so healthy. It's so powerful. Because if we stop thinking, then we lose the battle. If we don't stop thinking, then the evil loses the battle. So a moment of thought can change everything. Thoughtless, that's dangerous.
Rabbi Friedman, I got to say that sometimes I think that our programs are more than educational or inspirational. I feel like sometimes they're brainstorming sessions, like last week. What I came away from, and actually I saw your phenomenal video on that people can go and see on your YouTube channel, Rabbi Manis Friedman YouTube channel. And you said you had a revelation that if the celebrities will start endorsing Bring Morality Back, we have a better chance. So, and this was very interesting because I actually heard that video after I started to market Bring Morality Back and came up with BMB, Bring Morality Back movement. This is your movement. I'm just creating it, and hopefully we'll have everybody spreading it around all over the world and have this countering movement where people can really come outside on the street and say, we want morality, bring morality back. We're all united in this movement. And I'm serious. I'm creating a logo right now. Our creative department is creating a logo. And I hope that the whole world will come in together and move what is pretty much on everybody's thoughts, hearts, minds, and finally have a goodness movement, not just defend ourselves, not just feel victimized, like you said.
Beautiful. Count me in.
We're counting on you. Not just in. Thank you so much.
Very good.
This is awesome. I think we can do so much good because the crazy is getting crazier, and it is becoming scarier when it becomes so obvious, because a lot of people still feel very helpless. And I actually would like to, if you don't mind, speak about, we spoke about it in one of our other shows about self-esteem. I mean, do we need self-esteem and self-belief in some areas like this? Because it feels like people are becoming a little bit weakened when they feel helpless, when they feel like somebody else is calling the shots. How can we act in this particular time of our lives? Actually, phenomenal that it's also reflecting the parsha of the week where Moses sent the spies because he felt a little bit insecure that there can be somebody out there in the land of Israel that can have a very strong influence and counter the goodness. Well, basically, I said it very not clearly, but it's just interesting that, you know, we have these parallels that Torah does reflect our life every day.
So let's use that as a template. Moshe sends 12 people, the heads of the tribes, the best of the best. He sends them to spy out the land before they enter it. The spies come back and they say it can't be done. And everybody got very upset and depressed and confused. And Moshe was very angry at them. And God was very angry at them. And God said, in that case, you're not ever going to go in. You're going to wander in this desert until you die out, and your children will go into the land. Pretty severe, right? But imagine the spies saying to Moshe, what are you angry about? You asked us to go and spy out the land, and we did. And what we're saying is true. So what did we do wrong? If you didn't want our opinion, why'd you send us? So here's the question of what is God's plan and where do we fit in? If God has it all planned out, if God says, go into the land and inherit it, then I don't have to think. My opinion doesn't count. So that's where the spies were a little confused. Why are you sending spies? If God said do it, let's just do it. So here's the thing. Moshe sent spies not to decide whether they should do it. The spies were meant to figure out the best way to do it, the most efficient way, the most sensible way. They came back and they said, we can't do it. That was not their job. Of course you can do it if God says to do it. I mean, how many miracles do you have to see before you're convinced? 10 plagues, the splitting of the sea, and now all of a sudden it can't be done? What God wants can't happen? So then the spies would say, well, fine, if you believe in whatever God says, why'd you send spies? So do we use our intelligence? Do we have an opinion? Should we have an opinion? Or just, whatever God says? We can be brainless. The answer is, to do or not to do is not the question. Of course you do the right thing. But how? What's the best way to do it? What is the most thorough way? What is the most humane way? That you have to think. That's where our opinion really counts. Self-esteem is, in a sense, a desperate measure. When I don't know whether I should or shouldn't, what do I fall back on? Where do I get strength from? In desperation, I turn to self-esteem. I have to convince myself to trust myself. It's sad. Everything desperate is sad. We mustn't rely on self-esteem to know right from wrong. Right from wrong is bigger than us. It's older than us. It's been around for a long time. Right has always been right, and wrong has always been wrong. This is not a matter of self, whether low esteem, high esteem. We should not be so fragile in our moral backbone. Morality is morality, right is right, wrong is wrong. It doesn't depend on how confident I am about myself. I have to be confident about the rightness of what is right and the wrongness of what is wrong. It is really wrong. It is really right. Not I'm right. Because I can't really ever be sure about myself. So a high self-esteem almost sounds like trust yourself completely. That can't be. Can't be. It's an act of desperation. On the other hand, once you know what you're supposed to do, once you have a strong, firm, established moral code, right is right, wrong is wrong, now use your intelligence, because you can go about being good in a stupid way. You can resist sin in a destructive way. So God tells us right from wrong, and we have to bring sense, order, logic, and consideration to how we go about it. But our backbone is not self-esteem. The backbone is morality. If you have self-esteem, then add that to your moral behavior so that you're not only doing the right thing, but you're also doing it the best way. And that's the difference between people who are basically good, but nobody is attracted to their goodness. Yeah, you're right. You're a good person. It's not contagious because the way you're going about it is not appealing. If you're doing the right thing and it looks really good to everybody who sees it, says, wow, that's good, then you must be doing not only the right thing, but you must be doing it the right way. And in very, very general terms, the right way is to serve God with joy. If you're enthusiastic about it, not just obedient. If you're excited, if you find the pleasure in being good, then you become contagious. Then you become enviable, and everybody wants to have what you're having.
Rabbi Friedman, we gotta make it contagious. We definitely do. As I said, I always thought, how do you market it? And I think you absolutely came up with it. Hopefully we can just really make it happen. Really get this movement fired up that you are so brilliantly put together. So,
BMB.
BMB. Yes. I think it's very easy to shout out. BMB, bring morality back. So hopefully.
BMB, bomb. It's a bomb of goodness.
And that's what should happen to the world as soon as possible.
Yes.
Rabbi Friedman, I have to say some celebrities have started to do something wonderful like that, like John Voight. I don't know if you ever seen any of his videos where he really, really talks about morality very enthusiastically, very convincingly. And I just, I think it's very, very brave of him. So his biggest accomplishment is not being the father of Angelina Jolie now. It's it's actually quite more.
Does anybody under 20 even know who he is?
They probably should know who his daughter is.
Ah.
Yeah. So
yes,
maybe we can get her on board if they're still on talking terms.
That would be effective.
Well, I think now we have a lot of things to do. Yeah, we should get celebrities on board. I think between the few of us, we can get it done. And I think it's a phenomenal idea.
The thing is just, you can't pay her to do it.
Oh, we don't have enough money for that.
You can't pay her to do it. It has to be sincere. It has to be something she really believes. Hopefully she does. But she's got to share that belief. But you can't hire her as an actress.
No, of course not. That would defeat the purpose. But hopefully there are a lot of people who are celebrities, who have followings that, do feel that we just have to find out which ones they are. So we have a big job to do. But I think it's very, very exciting because doing something is so much more exciting than sitting around and just hoping.
Yeah. And they have no idea how popular they will become. Because they may have half of the population on their side now. If they start teaching morality, they'll have the other half. They will not lose popularity. Goodness is popular. People love it. They're not hearing enough of it. Like the example of Kennedy's speech. Don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. People love a moral challenge. So these celebrities will become bigger celebrities.
I think a lot of them actually believed that they were doing something good when, they were trying to fight world hunger and, rights, equality rights. I don't really believe that they came from a bad place. I think they did want to use their popularity for the good. It's very confusing who decided what good is for the world. And, that game plan that was in for, like you said, 50 years, that's actually a scary amount of years because that means that I was affected by this child-gendered sexuality movement, whatever it is, which started 50 years ago. I'm just now trying to figure out how all of us were affected by it. What did it do to us? I mean, who would we be otherwise if that movement was not around for, 50 years, like you said?
I remember when the Rebbe would say, no television. Don't have a television in your house. It's corrupting. And everybody looked around and said, corrupting? What's corrupting? It was so innocent, seemingly. Now, looking back at it, whoa, it was so sinister. How do you like the background music?
Love it. You're in a fun...
listening to Jewish music. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing. You're in a fun place. I'm envious in a good way. Rabbi Friedman, this is amazing. I honestly, I just look forward now to going forward and hopefully seeing what can come out of, trying to market goodness. And thank you so much for your brilliance, for your... I'm going to get in touch with your team after the show, if that's okay, to see how we can get all of this done. And it's just what you're doing for the world today, how you're spreading the smartest, most positive messages and really giving a lot of hope and strength to so many communities. It's amazing. Thank you so much for your work. I can't...
So is this the official launch of BNB?
I think so. Yes. Let's do that. Yeah. Today is when BNB is born. So, Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I do have to give up the studio because we ran a little bit over our time, and it's a radio. We have a schedule. So,
as always, it was a pleasure.
Much bigger pleasure for us, and so much goodness, positivity, and so much importance that you bring into our lives. Thank you so much, and so much looking forward to our next program together. Thank you, Rabbi Friedman.
With good news.
Amen.